Eccoci qua. Buongiorno a tutti, buon pomeriggio, buonasera. No, ci sono già delle persone collegate e questa cosa è fenomenale perché sono ben 20 giorni praticamente che non trasmettiamo niente, ma oggi abbiamo deciso di andare online con una cosa completamente nuova. Intanto io ho rimesso il mio braccialetto forzatore perché stai per iniziare il campionato e quindi mi porto sfortuna da solo, sapendo che già andremo in Serie B, ma lanciamo qui così senza particolari menate. Vediamo se intanto si collega un po' di persone, ma non è così grave, nel senso che poi ci sarà comunque, come sempre, la possibilità di vedere tutto in differita. Oggi, ciao Paolo, abbiamo una puntata specialissima, perché per la prima volta faremo un'edizione di Radio Birra del tutto internazionale, quindi sarà interamente in inglese e vi divertirete un sacco. Forse sì, forse no, vediamo. Chi potrà seguirà in diretta e magari ci farà qualche domanda, ma in ogni caso io ho intenzione di fare di questa puntata una sorta di così spin-off. Vediamo se riusciamo a creare l'edizione di Radio Beer International. Bella, me la sono lanciata da solo, non so neanche se riuscirò a farla questa cosa, infatti mi sta già guardando male dalla regia, ma non fa nulla. Bene, oggi avremo ospiti, ciao Lisa. Avremo ospiti Mauro Gobbo, che un attimo fa è sparito magicamente e speriamo di recuperare, non sappiamo bene come sia andata, ma mi dicono dalla regia che ci dovrebbe essere, ma soprattutto avremo Downie, spero di averlo pronunciato nel modo giusto. Lui viene direttamente da Fyne, in questo momento è a Edimburgo, parla un inglese fantastico perché ha appena l'accento scozzese, quindi si capisce perfettamente. Se uno, non lo so, lo dico così, speriamo bene di cavarcela in qualche maniera. Benissimo, io direi lanciamo la nostra sigla come sempre e speriamo di recuperare i nostri ospiti. A tra poco, sigla. Eccoci con la nostra sigla che è partita fenomenalmente, questa volta in maniera direi anche eccezionale. Grazie a te Fabio per averci fatto compagnia durante la quarantena, in realtà è stata una cosa molto reciproca, grazie a chiunque sia stato con noi in questo periodo. Bene, provo a vedere se riusciamo a condividere lo schermo con i nostri due ospiti di oggi, Mauro Gobbo di Ferro Beverage e Malcolm Downie. Si dice Downie? Is it correct? So Downie, the pronunciation? I didn't... Downie. Okay, cool. So I explained to our followers that we will have a little chat in English, which is kind of new for us, but hopefully we will make ourselves understood. Hopefully. And if not, we'll make some translation later on, offline maybe, for our followers who are probably kind of surprised to have us online today, which is a working day, a normal one. With the pubs which are finally open in Italy and pouring beers. Now, this one is a beer which comes straight from Fyne Ales, and is a collaboration beer that you made with the guys from the Molen. Yeah, is that correct? So how did that happen? Meals and Hills. That's a great name for which puts together Holland and Scotland. So how did that happen?
I guess the friendships came about from my boss Jamie and John. They met. I think they first met at an exporters meet event in Japan.
Aye.
For beer exporters. Both big Japanophiles, love sushi, and they go on really well. So we must make beer sometime. And John and his son coming across to Scotland on holiday. Oh, we'll make a beer. At exactly the same time, we were building our new brew house. So the plans were fluid as to what we were going to brew, where it was going to be brewed, either the big brew kit, the small one. The original brew of Mills and Hills was, I think, the fourth brew in the new brew house. And it was just, let's see how much malt we can get into the mash tun. Let's try and break it. It's kind of, we never really had a beer of that strength beforehand. And it's been
it's kind of unusual for the usual, the idea of I say English beer, you forgive me for that, because basically we have but no, so don't mention that. So Scottish beer usually is easier to drink. Yeah, we tend to go for beers like the worldwide famous Yard. Yeah, 3.8. But
beers.
yeah, that's some kind of a beer. Yeah, but this one is great. Pours great. Yeah, dark and wow. We do have another imperial style at the moment, which is the Yeti from Great Divide, which is a very famous one. But I'm happy to say one stands along with the other one. Great. Yeah. So having said that, I was very curious about the fact that you two guys you met someday. How that happened and why you decided to go with Mauro and try sell your beers to Italy.
That's the right sentence. I tried. I used to try, but I didn't at the beginning. How it happened? In the 2011, I think at the end of the 11, a friend of mine that was just came back from a holiday in Edinburgh, stopped me at the pub. Obviously, everything happened on the bench of on the bar, not the pub. Told me, "Hey, Mauro, I had a great and amazing beer in a pub in Edinburgh. It was called I didn't remember, but he had a blue display, and it was really low in alcohol, 3.8. The brewery started with F, but I don't know. I say, oh, okay, something interesting.
Not much of a name, but anyway.
I spent hours on red beer looking for all the Scottish breweries started with F, making a beer with a 3.8, and I found Fyne ales. I say, but I already had this beer because I spent, but it was in 2009, so. I spent that summer working in a brewery in Norfolk, and I went around pubs here and there to drink lots of beer. And I remember Fyne ales, the name, and a bluish displayed beer. But it was not Yard, because Yard was born, if I'm wrong, in the 2010.
Yeah.
So they couldn't. So maybe it was Avalanche.
Right.
Maybe. But maybe because of the color of the display.
Yeah.
But I always have been really lazy, and I never take notice of the beer that I drink. I'm sure that if I have to remind a beer, to make him put in the memory a beer,
it's not that important.
Yeah, it's because the beer deserve it. So I say I got that beer. It was good. Yeah, it was good. And I wrote to Chris Black, to the brewery. I sent an email, and he replied me in 2 days, really quick. Said, "Hey Mauro, thanks for your interesting, but we are small here. We are selling here in our national local market. For the moment, we are not interested." Each 2 weeks, I started writing him emails. At the end, after 6-7 months, we were friends. Hey, how is your mother? Your family? It's okay. At the end, he wrote me back saying that they had the will to make the jump across the channel to arrive in Europe. And if I was still interested to deal with them, I had already booked a flight, because it was the same moment that I was going to Magic Rock and Thornbridge, if I'm wrong, to Magic Rock for sure. And say, let me change the ticket of the plane. I will come to Scotland the day after. And we arrived there. I always have been in love with Scotland since when I was young. So for me, it was a dream. And we arrived to Argyll, to Achdunan, the small town of where the brewery is settled. And I remember that there were the new tap brewery that was smelled of fresh wood, new furniture. And but outside there were the goats, there were the cows, it's a factory. So it was really an idyllic place. I don't know what to say. It was really beautiful. And the first thing that I remember of that man, of Malcolm, was him opening the door of the old brewery with the metal militia from Metallica on the back. Say, hi guys, welcome to Scotland. Okay.
We were talking Metallica before, so yeah.
We became friends in, I think, 20 seconds, something similar. So then it was history that the beer are great. So when you can work with good beers and great people, I think that business is done.
So I think me and you, we actually share some the love for Scotland. I remember the first time I went to Scotland, I was 14 years old, and I went to Dunblane, and I still have friends over there. So every now and then, maybe once every 2 years, I go back to Scotland, and all of a sudden, something happened. I noticed that the local breweries were growing up. I was used to see all the means of English beers over there, and all of a sudden I started seeing craft breweries, and that's something that amazed me. But how the market sort of exploded from in a fortnight, literally, a few years ago. That was it like BrewDog opened the market, or something that happened altogether for some specific reason? Malcolm?
I think initially breweries were in Scotland, certainly, and most of the UK. The breweries were very, very small, and they would have served 2 or 3 bars, maybe done a few bottles. So if you visit the brewery, you take some away with you. And trying to remember the timeline. The laws of how you supplied bars changed. So rather than a big brewery owning all the pubs and they being tied to that brewery, that was broken. The monopolies and mergers broke that up to allow more freedom of tie. So free houses, and you can have these taps of this. These taps must be from this brewery, but this one you can do whatever you like with. And that was the kind of start of it. And I guess, I mean, when I started going to pubs, the choice in Scotland wasn't big. There would have been Harveston, Orkney, maybe Inverarmond. Inverarmond was late 90s. So when I started going to pubs, it was Harveston, Orkney. And there was less than 10 for very, very many years. And all of a sudden, it just took off.
Yeah. That's the same thing I perceived it being outside.
Fyne Ale started in 2001. There were still very, very small numbers of breweries. And it just gets steadily more and more and more. Then, as you say, with the BrewDog effect, they smashed the market open and introduced the concept, because it was all cask, bottle condition. That was it. They introduced the concept of more American style, big heavy hop beers, imperial stouts. Started off with barrel aging. Although the sour stuff is only now becoming a big part of it, I think they probably had a lot to do with that as well, because they were importing stuff to sell in their bars, and that opened up. You know, we wouldn't. I don't think we would have been doing keg beer if it hadn't been. There are a lot of breweries who start off now doing keg beers and cans rather than in the cask. So they have turned the market in its head and opened it up even further. And I think now people are really taking an interest in where does this come from? Who made it? Whether it's bread or beer or meat, fish, fruit, vegetables. People are really taking a lot of interest in what we eat. I mean, the number of times I've been to Italy, I think I've been in a supermarket maybe once. You go to a fish shop, a meat shop, a vegetable shop. You know, it's all small
suppliers. Yeah. That's true.
And I think with the current climate, that's becoming even more so. You just go into your local shop, or your local shop is delivering. So it's going back to the beer market. I think initially it was a legal change, and then say BrewDog, it snowballed.
Do you think there is like we traditionally think that Italian craft beer movement started 1996. The first four breweries like Lambrate, Baladin, Birrificio Italiano, and others, they started pretty much in all the same frame of time without even knowing each other probably. Do you think there is something like that in Scotland, a date where you can say, okay, that's the beginning of the craft beer movement in Scotland?
It kind of depends on you define craft beer. I mean, you guys have got.
Yeah, we have law that the states what craft beer is. Yeah.
If you define craft beer to be this sort of kind of new wave, the brewdog stuff, you're looking late 2000s. If you're talking about the opening up of the market, I would guess it's probably close to the late 90s, 95 to 2000, because that was the legal opening up. And there is no definition of craft beer in this country.
Yeah, that's another issue that we have over here. Yeah. We needed a law to say what's craft and what is not.
Yeah.
Which doesn't necessarily solve the problem, because when you have a law, there's means of going through it, and probably
taxation.
Yeah. So is it that true that you don't actually? Well, you do feel the difference between an industrial product, big industry product, and craft beer in terms of how they behave on the market? All the same, is it true that over there is probably more important what you drink what you find in your glass? Is it a good beer or a bad beer? Then it's not important whether it's craft or not.
I think because there is no definition of craft, everybody has their own idea of it. So you can't really say for certainty that you're drinking craft beer because it's craft beer. So I think more about that tastes nice, I'll drink that again. I've never seen that before, I'll try that, I'll try this. Oh, I don't like that, but I like that. Whereas with the bigger breweries, industrial breweries, they have always been there, they will always be there, they do the same things.
Yep.
Whereas smaller breweries, you will always be there. But this week we have this, next week we'll have that. We have got the agility to produce different beers. Because a beer that tastes like this, which means that people that like Jarl might try that. So I'm not really answering the question because I don't know how to answer it.
That's all right. I mean, it's just something that is it's kind of difficult to sort out because there's a big fight in here in Italy between the idea of craft beer, how we think it, and what is really craft beer. Sometimes things mix up a bit differently from what the laws the current laws state. So that I was very curious about what your opinion about that from Scotland, which is a totally different environment and totally different thing. But you know one thing which is very important, which is the impact of a different law that actually helped you all guys to open up the market and go through it and bring your products to the market. So is it any different now? Is it easier?
Yes, it is a lot easier to deal with. You can deal direct. You can deal with a brewery to sell to their pubs. You can deal to a wholesale. Will then do the things. There are many channels of how you get your beer from the brewery to the customer. You can do it directly or through third parties. I have to say it's not always a good option because a lot of the big companies, yes, we will buy beer from you. We will give you €40 a keg.
Okay, maybe not.
So, yes, you can sell to them, but you'll be lost. But there are more and more people becoming more and more used to the idea that if they pay a little bit more, they will get something that they might make a lot more. They might not, but they could try something else. And for me, having the choice to decide, I like that, I don't like that, I'll buy that. If you're in a bar that's got, you know, Tennant's, John Smith's, and Strongbow, can I have a coffee, please?
Yeah, I do the same.
I would drink Guinness of those four, but if you're in a bar that's got 20, 30 taps, you will find, I would be very surprised if you don't find 2 or 3 that you like. If not, a lot more. So I think it's about, in this country, it's more about having the choice. And that is a result of the small brewers being able to sell into more individual pubs and more small to medium, even large-sized chains if you want to deal with that. But the bigger the chains, the less they pay for the beer. So
that was my next question. Because do you have like an issue with those big distributors or big chains like Wetherspoons or those big names that basically they claim they do craft beer because they have a local brewery for a very, very low price.
Yes,
which makes me always kind of scared when I see them because
it's a very, very dangerous. If you base your business on something like that, it's very dangerous because your margins are so small. Fashions change, and so that market's removed from you. You've got a product that no one's willing to pay for, and you've got no market for it. So we used to sell a lot into, not a lot, but into Wetherspoons in the countryside, say maybe Ayrshire and Fleece, areas we didn't have regular customers. But I'm taking Wetherspoons as an example because you mentioned it. The manager of one in Ayr knows the manager of the one in the centre of Glasgow. Or the one in Glasgow here, so you can go down, collect casks from the guy in Ayr and sell them in Glasgow. Across the road from another pub who's paid £20 or £30 more for that cask, it's selling it £1 more in the bar. Yet we're upset at the weather because we've sold it. We didn't sell it, it's moved within Wetherspoons.
Right, so it was a change.
Not this spring, obviously, but last year we did part of their beer festival, which meant like 500 9-gallon casks of beer at one order. In February, that's great business for us because it's a very quiet period of time. That's a lot of beer. And time when cash flow is reduced, it helps. You make better money for cash, but when that inward clears, it's good news for the office. I wouldn't want to be based completely on, if you have one customer and for whatever reason that relationship stops, then you're dead. If you have a lot of customers and that none of them are so much bigger than the rest, it's a good, healthy business. If you're completely based on selling low margins into one customer, that's not a happy business. I mean, I think probably it varies, but some of our biggest volume customers are other breweries. Carlsberg, Belhaven. Well, Belhaven and Carlsberg now share distribution. And you can say every Monday the order will come in, 72 names a Jarl going to Junction 4. 36 names a Jarl going to here every week. So that's good. That's not margin, but it's solid business. And then you've got customers in Newcastle who order 7 or 8 18s every week, every 2 weeks, which again is a lot of beer.
It is, absolutely.
I mean, the problem for us is servicing that because Newcastle's maybe 4.5 hour drive from the brewery. We could put 4 vans, 5 vans, I've seen some weeks, all Jarl, into pubs down there.
Right.
We're in a very beautiful part of Scotland, which Mauro has mentioned, but it's very rural. Glasgow is an hour and a half away. Edinburgh's 2 hours away, 2.5 hours away by van. So servicing that, there's a lot of mileage. in the winter, the local area closes because it's tourist based.
Nothing yet.
So it's the business is very busy in summer and less busy in winter. We've got better at closing the gap by doing things with Wetherspoons, by doing big bulk deals. But then this year, so
this year we just don't mention that. 2020 will be soon forgotten, hopefully. So what is the share of your business that goes in Scotland, elsewhere, and maybe through Mauro in Italy? Is it?
I don't know.
Oh, well, that's fair enough.
I don't work in the office. I don't deal with the office. I would guess we're probably, in terms of packaging anyway, maybe 40-45% cask, 40% small pack, and the rest into keg. So the keg beer is very small. In terms of beer, Jarl is probably 60% of what we do.
Yep.
Cask, keg, bottle, can in the very near future. Export. Italy is our biggest export market by a long way.
That's good news for us. I mean, it's a
Good boy.
It's you.
Yeah. Good to know. How much you attended the Europe in Rome several times?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think is the impact of that event on your overall sales through Italy?
I think it gets new customers because people go there expecting to see really good beers and breweries.
True.
Being there, you are at that level. People expect big things of you. It also reinforces customers because people that I've seen his name, Lapo, has appeared in the wee comment side.
Yep.
The event is there. So you see people and they become friends, as with Mauro. So it's a case of you can use it to say, well, okay, if you want to try the beers, we'll be in Rome on this date. Mauro will be there. You can talk about distribution. I can talk about the beers. So it's crucial, I think. But also, for me, it's seeing what other breweries are doing in Italy and some of the other some of the American, Canadian guys that are there. I just see what's happening. I mean, for me, I really enjoy the Italian beer scene because I think it's very different. The American beer scene it's still all about big beers. Whereas in Italy, they exist, but there's a lot more sensible beers, 5.5%. Three of them can have 9%. So there's also a very different influence as well, because especially in the north, and I guess Lombardy, Veneto, you've got a very German influence. So there's lots of pilsners, lagers, and German-style beers. Which there's only maybe one or two breweries I can think of in the UK doing that well. One of them, there's a couple of Italians working at Braybrook, so Mario Ganatelli and Davide Gardosi. It is strange in the effect that people should not drink cask beer in Italy. That blows my mind.
That's a huge issue. Actually, the thing is, cask is a totally different way of serving beer. So it demands skills from in any area of the line that goes from the brewery to the consumer. Basically, you have to have a dedicated distributor who uses proper means of distributing.
Yeah.
So maybe keep the beers cool enough not to have them die in the process.
that this is the challenge
Yeah.
behind all these things, because if you want to think to the beer as a how you say, a cultural thing,
Yeah.
as a something that can shorten the distance between people. It's geography, but it's politics, it's history, it's everything. Those beers have to be drunk in that way. And when I'm sitting in a pub in the town center of Padua, for example, and with my how do you say, the elbow on the bar with a pint of Maverick, drunk with the same feelings that I had the first time that I was sitting in the tap room. For me, it's something like with the goosebumps. No, my challenge has been won. I remember that I'm also an angler. I love to fish, and just outside the brewery there is the Fyne River. It's a creek with salmons. And the first time I came there, I went there. There were two people that were fly fishing salmon with a. It's my dream. I love doing that thing, and I was so angry. But why they can do that and drinking this beer at the same time? Okay, and entering the pub and drinking the first pint that was a Avalanche. That's because I recognized the beer. Say not okay. Then she push it. It was Avalanche. I had an emotion, had a feeling, and being able to bring it here again, for me, it's the most important part beside the business, beside the job, beside the drink. And to do that, we have to spread the culture of Cascade Days, because it's not like a keg that you can put and tap and it's okay, drink it. It's something like it's more similar to the vinyl, the disc, the vinyl, compared to the CDs or the MP3. You have to know them, to have care of them, to take care of them, and it's something more emotional, more physics, maybe. Physical.
No, I'd say it's definitely emotional, because it sounds cheesy, but we are in the business of making people happy, really. You know, there's a famous quote, I think, on Order Balzac: "The bar in a pub is the parliament of the people." That you're sitting there with your glass, talking to your friends, and in some respects you want the beer to be memorable, but you want the interaction, the conversations, the memories you create to be more memorable. So it's beer, or it's the glue that binds that all together. And it sounds really cheesy, but it's what it is, and that's what the real pub culture in the UK is. Which, although cafe culture is most of Europe is very good, we don't have that sort of weather. We are inside, warm and dry. So it's trying to bring that idea to a Mediterranean climate, to a Mediterranean culture. It blows me away every time I see it. But I still remember the first time you were across me and we were speaking about things and bottles, yes, but draft. We don't really do very much keg. No, cask. I can only imagine being suspicious.
For us, it's the same. The major part of the volumes that we are doing with them, with Fyne, is among cask pins, the half casks. Mm-hmm. Maybe this was one of the reason of the success, because maybe the biggest stop to serve the cask ale is the size of the Firking, of the 41 liters casks that has to be drunk, sold in 3 days, and we don't have that type of consumption here in Italy. But I remember that I saw a half pallet of pins of small casks outside the brewery. So, what are that? What are those? They are pins. We use them for the small pub. No, those are great.
For years, you couldn't get them. there was maybe only one company made them, then they closed.
Yeah.
And they just didn't exist. And for the start and production of them again made life so much easier, because for our local area, the rural pubs, in the summer they'll do 2 or 3 firkins a week. In winter, maybe 1 pin, because they're open Friday night, Saturday. That's it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like here.
It's like custom to
No,
beer.
here.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that. Basically, what I'm thinking now, we will do just a few seconds break.
Take a beer.
Take a beer. Take your time for maybe 30 seconds. We'll be back with some questions from our followers and some other questions from me, because you made up my mind on something about the pints. We'll talk about pints. Cheers. See you.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're back. Oh, finally, we're back, but my beer is not yet here. Yours is there. Maybe Mauro, if you got a new beer? No, not yet. Oh, you have one.
Obviously.
I'm the local one, but because there's people over here, so they're. Oh, that's a good move. That's very clever.
It's a big game.
So let's talk about the pint. Now, the pint is a measure, is the name of the glass, but it's also a size, which is Her Majesty the Queen says that's the pint. Yeah. So that's not a pint. Is it a pint?
Yeah,
It's
it is.
50, 60 L.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that's my issue with it. The craft beer world sort of put the pint like an old age thing, because the price of the product going into a pint makes it very, very expensive. Is it true for Scotland as well?
They're
Sort of.
Yes. There are several bars that use what we call schooner, so 2/3 of a pint, around about 400 mils. Because a lot of what they deal with is imported or rare. And if you they'll sell it in third, let's say 200 mil measures, or because if you looked at the price per pint, it would be crazy. But there are still places where you'll £2.50, say €3 for a pint, and that's what they sell it at. It's a geographical question as well. In the Midlands of England, how much? £4 a pint?
No way.
In Edinburgh, Glasgow, London, yeah, that's fine. I was down in Leeds for an event 2 years ago, and I was in a very traditional pub in the centre of town. Cloudwater were relaunching cask beer, so there were a couple of Cloudwater casks on. So 2 pints of brown, please. That's £5 a pint. Yes, please. 2, please. £5 a pint. Here's £10. 2 pints.
Yeah.
And the barman was, "You're selling it at £5 a pint. I'm happy to pay that because I've never tried it, and then I bought more because it was a nice beer." But out with the sort of bubble of certain sort of crafty bars and stuff, that wouldn't exist. In the city centres, because cities are more expensive anyway, that's less of an issue. But you will still find places that
I'm a rat.
it's still, if you're buying, you wouldn't buy a pint of an imperial stout.
Right.
It's a very short night.
No,
So-
this is a third of, no, it's 30 CL. So it's different measure. We do CLs. We don't do imperial measures. But the thing is, the first time I was I wasn't upset really, because because the fact is the place was very nice. That was Dublin, and it's a place called Brewdog. Brewdog, not Brewdog. Now Brewdog, they have I think 20 lines or something. They were selling Italian beers as well, €10 a pint, which was something that made me like thinking, okay, here is a place where the size that people is used to. I mean, no respectable Irishman or Englishman would ask, or Scotsman for what matters, uh, would ask for less than a pint. I tried the first time I went to a pub was 16 and I wasn't allowed to drink. The first time I went into a pub was in Edinburgh, and actually tried. I asked for a half pint Guinness, and the landlord looked at me like I was like a madman or something like that. So basically, as I immediately understood that a half pint is immoral. Anyway, having said that, €10 a pint, and I'm not sure it's immoral, but it's very difficult to bear with. Because basically, how many pints can you have for €10?
Yeah.
But the clever thing was that they were selling the half pint and the third pint for the same beer, which make it like a easier choice. But that means that in UK and Ireland as well, the pint is still there, whereas in Italy, sizes sort of shrink every year. So you go from the pint to the 50 cl, and then 40 cl, and then 30 cl, and then maybe even lower than that. We have the so-called Roman pint, which is I don't know what it is, the Roman pint, but basically it's a way of selling a beer for a smaller amount of money and in a smaller size glass.
Yeah.
Is that an issue? I don't know. Is it an issue in a country which drinks maybe 90 liters per year, whereas we still drink 30, maybe?
I think I don't know. I mean, it seems everywhere I've been in Italy, it's €6 a beer. Whether that's Peroni, whether that's Lambrati, as I see the.
Oh yeah. Fair enough. This is like there's two things together.
But the stronger beers are also served in smaller measures.
Well, which makes sense then. That's fine. But as for Jarl, I mean, a Jarl, you would drink it a pint, yeah, straight away.
Yeah.
All the same, serving a pint of Jarl is not as easy as you would imagine, because basically it would go probably maybe €7, maybe 8, some place. Yeah. Which for a session beer is not easy. Yeah.
I've seen in Denver, there was one bar had two cases of 33 centiliter bottles of Jarl, $13 a bottle.
Good plan for them.
It's good beer. It's good beer.
It's a good beer. Yeah.
I know what we sold it to Shelton. I know what Shelton put it to Crook and Stave. I know the margins throughout roughly.
I didn't sell it.
The publican went, no one else has this. People will buy it. $13 a bottle, and that's wrong. That's immoral. I mean, I said there's a lot of places. You mentioned the Guildford earlier on. One of you were speaking about the Guildford in Edinburgh. I think Jarl's $3.60 or $3.80 a pint. They're priced by ABV.
All right.
So 3.6, 3.8, 4, 4.2, and they can make the margins on other beers. Some beers have a bigger margin than others, so they balance it out that way. But it's a pint, and that's kind of what it's all based around. On your stronger, more exotic beers, if you like, sours, barrel-aged, imperial stouts, things like that, prices are very different. And the same beer you mentioned your Yeti on as well. I was in London a few years ago, and but a big bottle of Yeti, £20.
Oh yeah.
I know, but it's a nice beer.
Well, as long as you like what's in glass, then you're prepared
It's soft.
to pay for it. It's fine. As long as the beer is good, no problem. Now we are having like a battle tonight between the Scotch egg and fish and chips. So, what is your favorite?
It's got to be fish and chips all the way. I'm from a fishing town.
Haggis.
All right.
Haggis.
Well,
Haggis. The Scotch egg.
Okay, that's a good choice. Yeah, I'm looking for a supplier for haggis because I'd love to have some good one. And not available here in Italy, but yeah. Why don't you buy some from Scotland, Mauro? You could serve us. We
do cold delivery, so I think no problem for that.
Yeah. Nappies and tatties, yeah.
No, but the thing that I would like to bring home with the beer, it's not haggis. Yeah, why not? But because Fyne it's a farm, so they don't produce only beer. They produce also venison and beef from those fucking Highland cattle that I have to eat them.
I didn't know that. But that's your fault because you're telling me now. Otherwise, you could have told me that maybe 2 years ago, and then
I'm trying.
Yeah. So are you beginning serving us with venison as well?
I wonder.
I don't know how we could get it.
That would be marvelous, wouldn't it?
Michael, we have to make some business with that.
Next time I come across,
not just beer.
I'll take a bag.
Do that, and then maybe bring some, if you can, some Scottish cheddar as well. Cheddar.
Cheddar. Oh yeah, mulled cheddar. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe from the area, so that we begin like a shop with the old Scottish food. No tartans. Well, we are not into that. Though we have one member of our staff tonight is wearing a tartan. You see him? Yeah, maybe not. So anyway, yeah. Go back to serious thing. Maybe more serious thing.
Venison is serious thing. So
yeah, we can try that. So as for your plans for production and for the future, how many barrels do you produce per year?
Last year we did 10,000 hectolitres, just over 10,100 or so.
Okay.
This year we won't do that.
Yeah. No one will do the same business that we did last year. But anyway, we go back to normal pretty soon.
Things get normal.
Yeah. But you were telling me before that you were coping, sort of trying to cope with the COVID, with the deliveries to your final consumer. Is that a business that is going to keep on when everything will be hopefully back to normal?
I hope so. It's what we were talking about, kind of loyalty to your local businesses, suppliers. It's weird looking at the areas we're sending home delivery beer to. We sell a lot of beer in Newcastle. There's a lot of mini casks of Jarl going to Newcastle. We sell a lot in Glasgow and Edinburgh. But there are some other places that we've never sold beer in Northern Ireland. But there's a lot of customers in Belfast, Newton Awards, around that area. Where have they found it?
They drink hard. So.
I had a friend used to work at that brewery. It's you can see clusters and you can explain where they've had the beer. And there are other places like Ipswich, where you remember Phil that came to Europe a couple of years ago. Phil's from Ipswich, so he's getting all his friends to buy it. But there are other places you've probably. Where did you find it? Where did you get it? Because we don't do a lot of. Normally, we don't do a lot of bottled beers or canned beers in England because we just can't. It's very difficult to find a wholesale. Draft beer is easy to wholesale. Small pack, difficult. I genuinely hope that it does continue because it's a really. I do hope it continues, and I don't hope it. It's a strange one. I think pubs will eventually go back to almost normal. Probably different to what it was before, but they will eventually get there. It'll take time. But your small wine shops, beer shops, your small off licenses, I think, will really suffer because you sat there, ping, 2 days later it arrives. Or you go into town, you buy this. You know, if you live in a city, that's no different. But living in a rural area, it's a lot easier just to get it delivered. From my point of view, it means we can connect directly with the customers. We are just launched this week for going on sale start of July, a subscription club for mini casks. So you'll be getting your own 5-litre mini cask delivered directly to your door every month. Now, it could be Jarl, it could be something specifically brewed just for this club. And I think that's a fantastic idea because you can then see you are part of something special. And hopefully that will create, it's kind of really back to these sort of cheesy, warm, fuzzy feelings. Our job is to make people happy and make people's lives slightly more enjoyable and better, happier. And if we can do that, job done. What do I hope? I genuinely do hope, I think, that the online stuff does continue because it says direct from us to you. And that's not taking anything away from wholesale.
So in fact, this is my 2 cents if for what matters. But really, the thing is, you don't know how many times people go to a pub.
No.
It's their pub, but they might go there maybe once a week, every fortnight, whatever.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, these same people sort of discovered how good it is to have a good beer at home, and it's not taking away anything from me as a pub. Basically,
No.
giving them a chance to drink the same good beer that I'm serving them here at home, which means that overall, this could be a huge opportunity for us as a system, as an environment, yeah, to grow up a new loyal consumers.
Yes.
The thing that I've seen um, before the COVID is, yes, you get your regulars, they drink over here, and then they clearly admit, as I do admit, that maybe at the stadium when you go to your team or whatever, you drink, maybe Beck's, maybe Heineken. Yeah, the thing that you find over there when you're home, you go to the supermarket, you find whatever you find at the supermarket.
Yeah.
This frame of time, when we were locked in and we started delivering them our own beers at home, created a new market, which might mean that we can keep it and grow bigger. So,
Yeah.
that's my point of view, and I think that everything that we've done in these last 3 months might really benefit us forever.
I think so, because you see, in the UK, the market is very slowly moving away from draft beer to small pack.
Yeah.
Because of supermarkets. So if we can get our beer from small breweries into consumers' hands more easily, without going through supermarkets who are scary people to deal with at the best of times. Total sideline, but ridiculous. We had a phone call from a loyal Jarl drinker. He could buy two beers in the supermarket, which meant 2 bottles of Jarl, or 2 cases of 24 tins of Heineken. No, that's the same. It's not. So he came to us directly because he could buy a case of beer. And hopefully that then breeds loyalty and share it with their friends, and it's good, very good for the future. I genuinely hope so. Yeah, I think it will be.
Ivano,
Yes.
change slight the theme of the discussion, because I have a question that is on my mind from since the beginning, and I'm quite curious on it. The two beers are starting to make effect so on the tongue. So no, because we spoke before about the cask, so about traditional ales, and I'm experiencing and every day and increasing on the interest on the traditional style of beer, of ales. I'm not meaning only bitters, but everything about the balancing, so pale ale, bitters, English IPA, and it's in that type of a consumption are increasing. Yeah. So okay for the cask, but it's something like an average keg cask. People are starting to move from the really heavily hoppy ales to the more traditional styles. Okay, with maybe with a hint of something new. Okay, and this is one of the things that I love from the beer from Fyne, that are something like refreshed from the traditional styles. But what is happening in UK? Because when I came to York last year, I found once again traditional beer like Timothy Taylor, for example, Landlord, in a craft beer geeky pub, and for me it was something really beautiful because wow, that's great. So is it true or not? Or
it is. People are discovering beers like Landlord, like Black Sheep Bitter, because they were always there. I'd say now people are now becoming more interested in balance rather than the most alcoholic, the most bitter, the most aggressive. What's something that's actually nice and we can drink 10 pints of? These beers. That's what they're designed for. We're also seeing as well a lot more in the UK breweries producing lager beers, Pils, Keller Pils. Now, this is for something chemical, it's fizzy, horrible stuff. No, good lagers are not. They're very, very nice. Fashion is circular. Parents, grandparents, it'll come back round again, and it's going back to the very classic styles, like your Landlords, like your Black Sheep Bitters, like they've been around forever and there's a reason why they've been around forever. They're nice beers. They're good beers.
It's drinkable.
Why wouldn't you drink a Saison du Pont? Why wouldn't you drink that? I mean, it's like archetypal beer.
Yeah.
It states that's the Saison, and everyone else have to copy it if you want to be to create a proper Saison. And as for say a bitter, there's a lot of beers that might stay in that segment. They were not that popular recently, but they're coming back because people is getting aware of the fact that there's styles, which is something new, really. One thing that I'm thinking is there's a lot of newcomers who go for the IPA. Yeah, IPA because it's popular. There's a lot of people drinking that. They may have heard of IPAs in pretty much any place. They're now asking for a not bitter IPA. That means that they're not drinking IPAs. The modern ones, but this means that has become like a fashionable drinking, whereas the classic drinkings like bitter saison, blonde ale, pale ale, stout. Why not mild? Why not making a proper mild? Maybe it's not very popular, but at the end of the day, are we looking for popular things? I don't know. How else approach to a scheme like that? I mean, you do modern ales and traditional ales as well.
Yeah, I mean we've always sort of said that we're about producing easy drinking, sessionable, balanced. You know, there is a malt character, there's a bitterness, there is, you know, but it's nothing is completely. It's not really bitter. It's not really malty. It's a combination of all the flavor to just produce something that's easy to drink. I would say that our pale, if we make a beer at 4.5% and it's pale and it's hoppy, you won't need to try and sell it. It will sell. If I produced 3.5% brown ale, why did you do that? You know, people aren't interested in that. Pale beers sell twice as much as dark beers, percent twice as much as 5%, and it's frustrating. Because I mean, I like I like sort of a little bit more than just a pale beer, a red ale or brown ale, something like that. And I find it frustrating. Oh, it's like Guinness. Oh, that'll be really strong. I won't drink that. I won't like that. Guinness is only about 4%. Not that strong. Might have a strong flavour. People might like that. But you give someone something that's pale. It used to be. My thinking was something pale is similar to lager. Oh, that's safe. As you say, it might be an IPA. It will taste nothing like a lager. The first thing you see in that glass is pale. That's safe. It's not scary. I don't know it.
No one knows really, but the thing is, we do sell beer, and we see the market changing.
Yeah,
and we see that people is getting back to those styles that we somewhat thought they were like gone forever.
yeah,
Instead, they're coming back, and it's really up to our professionals, to us as publicans, and maybe brewers.
if
involved.
if we don't make it, you can't sell it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. As long as you make a product that it's as it should be, and we do want to sell it, then that's the trick. Basically, people trust us, put some trust in us. They come to our pubs, they drink what we propose them. That's why it's not impossible to think of the future of real beers that come from the past, or a certain kind of past, and bring them back to their glory, so that things come easier for everyone else. Because beers got expensive because of the quality of ingredients we put in them and the difficulties of making them and other
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, but all the same, I mean, a bitter is a simple beer, and
it should be.
it should be. Yeah, it should be drinkable. It should be balanced. It shouldn't cost a lot of money,
Yeah,
but it's a beer. So why shouldn't you drink it? You drink it
yeah,
a bitter, yeah? That's fine.
yeah. I mean, there's a favourite pub of mine down in Worcester, and it's a very very old, very very small building, and almost all the beer he sells comes from within 20 miles of the pub. And then you always have a mild, a better, a best, better. All right, what have you got? Black Pearl, love that, or Gravedigger mild, and it will be the best example of that beer you will have tried. And for me, it's a thing of beauty. It's simple, and it just it's just a sort of place you walk into, and you end up speaking to people you've never met before. And that's what it's about. It's about making friendships, making connections, and it's the experience of being. God, I miss being in a pub. Yeah,
So there's a lot of things I would love to discuss with you, but there's one particular thing that will be the last one, so they leave you free for tonight. After that one, but Scottish water.
yeah,
Now, Scotland is famous for whiskies, beers, tardens, and water as well. What kind of water you have at the brewery? Are you treating it in any manner,
Yes.
or are you using the water as it comes from where it comes from, whatever?
Now laughing because he knows what he has seen with the water.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, okay. So it's your turn. Go ahead.
Our water supply comes from a hill behind the brewery, so there's a stream comes down. That's our water. The bigger picture, where we are on the west coast the stone is very hard, and the stone is hard as granite, and there's a lot of heat. So the water is slightly acidic. There is no limestone, there is no carbonates. It's very, very, very pure. Now, in the soft water, the Highland water is perfect for making whiskey. The Highland water, you need hard water to make beer. We add salts to it. We do treat the water to get some carbonates, sulfates, to keep it happy, to improve the mouthfeel. From our point of view, having our own water supply and it being pure and basically just water with very little in it, it gives you a clean slate to build up. If you want to do a multi beer, you add this. If you want to do a bitter beer, you add this. So most breweries that I know that run off a town supply, people treat the water, they remove chlorine, fluoride, the things that you put in drinking water to make it safe to drink. We don't have that problem. So there's a lot of things. Oh, it's the water supply, and the water supply is great because there's nothing in it. That's not what makes it great. It's the fact that there's nothing in it, and you can change it very, very, very easily to suit the styles of beer you're trying to produce. Soft beers, like a good pilsner, is very, very soft. The base is very soft. Something like a porter or something like that. Guinness is a beer. You need sort of harder water. We have the best because we have nothing which we can then add to very, very easily. And stop laughing about the dead sheep you saw.
They found a way to save the money buying an osmosis filter because they are Scottish, so they're using rain, and they didn't have to buy the osmosis filter. They are the number one.
That makes sense. That's very Scottish, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So,
Deep
guys,
pocket.
it's been a pleasure to drink some beers with you. The third Meals and Hills, and makes me very happy. So,
It's the perfect beer as an aperitif time. It's
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll have some more later on. And I hope you, Malcolm, can make it to Italy anytime. Just feel free to come over, have a drink with us at the bar. It's been a pleasure to have you here, and it's been a pleasure to have you again, Mauro. Hopefully, our followers have understood something. If not, we'll make a translation straight away for them. And Scotland forever. That's it. Sigla. Ciao. Thanks a lot. Ciao.